What's up, strugglers? Comic King here. Welcome back to another episode of Breakdown Beatdown. But this is a little cheating. Instead of a comic book today, we are talking about Superman spoilers for Superman, James Gunn Superman 2025, and this our predictions for the DCU going forward. There's a lot of stuff coming out. We're both excited. But today I'm joined by my good friend MrPIXELS. How are you doing today, man?
What is up? I'm doing
Thanks for being on the
great.
show. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah, yeah.
inviting me. It's
Yeah,
great.
no problem. Yeah, but we're talking. There's a fair warning. I'm rambling. I'm excited, but spoilers for Superman. So it's been out for a month and a half now. If you haven't seen it, that's your goddamn fault. Go see it, strugglers. Go watch it. But we've both seen it. I got gift stuff but we both absolutely loved it. But it's the official start. We had Creature Commandos and then his Suicide Squad, but this is the official beginning. I kind of count those as preludes. Even Gunn said it himself.
Mhm.
It gets a little confusing, but it's all confusing at the very end. But it's all very comic booky. But Superman's the official start. Peacemaker season 2, I think, comes out either in a week or 2 weeks.
The trailer came out today.
Yeah, I haven't seen the latest trailer. I'm kind of staying away from. I think I'm not going to watch it just because we're so close to the
Mhm.
release. But it is a direct sequel. Gunn says a direct sequel to Superman, and it's the next project that's about to come out. And then the next after that, we got Green Lanterns in early next year, February, March, which is my most anticipated of this first wave. It's about damn time. And then we got Supergirl. It's a lot of great stuff coming out. But yeah, man, thanks for being on the show. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Okay, so we'll talk Superman spoilers first,
Mhm.
and then we'll kind of delve in deep into kind of our predictions for what we think he's going to do, because I have so many ideas, and a lot of people are saying like is it going to be a big bad with Marvel and Thanos stuff. I think Gunn's going to do something completely different.
I hope he does something
I hope he does too.
different.
They're already proving it different, and just with all the rumors from like the Avengers Doomsday set, people
Mhm.
were like, man, this is like proving even Gunn is like doing something different and right, is because it's like Marvel. The thing is, it works for Marvel. Recently, I don't think it has been, but a lot of the times Marvel
Yeah.
they uphold to their schedule, right? And so like a script
Mhm.
won't even be finished, or they don't even know what fully idea they're doing before they start shooting, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff being two film majors here, by the way, that can lead to disaster, but like Marvel's a pro at it. Like people forget that like they did that with Iron Man. I think that's one of the greatest films of all time.
Mhm.
Like
But
that's one
then
of my
again,
favorites.
like the pressure on Iron Man was very
Oh yeah,
different than it is now.
people don't realize that like people say, "Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy, all these Avengers, all these different things." In my opinion, still the biggest risk Marvel's ever done is the first Iron Man film,
Mhm.
because they didn't know if it was going to work. But you go back and watch that compared to other stuff, it's very much a film compared
Yeah,
to some of these other stuff, which I love a bunch of other stuff, but it's very much like you could watch Iron Man and you don't have to watch anything else.
exactly.
But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, what I was talking about with the Avengers Doomsday set is like there's rumors, all this stuff coming out. Oh, they're not finished. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, let Marvel do their thing. But then everyone's talking about, well, you look at Gunn, and they announced that something they're doing differently is that they have a plan. They're calling it, instead of phasing it, they're
Mhm.
calling it chapters, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And it's more akin to comic books. And but the thing is, they're not. They announced idea because I think you remember they did that video a few years ago about what he wants to do with chapter one. They're calling it Gods and Monsters, right?
Yeah.
And they announced all these projects. I think that was just to get their foot on the ground and
Mhm.
tell people, hey, we're working on stuff. Things are happening. The only thing we have anything that's official right now is Superman. But like these are the
Yeah.
ideas. I think people thought too much of that being oh, this is what they're gonna do. Like like Marvel announcing like this is what's gonna happen. I don't think that was the case. I think he just like these are the ideas of what we're trying to go forward with. I think he's like, I think the only official thing was like Superman and Green Lantern. Like those are the
Yeah.
first two things happening along Creature Commands. The first three things that's official. But like the Authority, the Grant Morrison Batman idea, all these other things, Swamp Things, like not that these are going to happen right away, but this general
Mhm.
scope of what we're going forward. And then they announced about a year and a half later, right before Superman came out, those he's like, for the DCU, we are not greenlighting anything or starting production on anything until we have a finished script. I think that is so smart.
It is. Oh my God, it's so nice.
Yeah,
Someone's fucking
I just
doing
think that's
that.
smart because it's kind of like you don't because I think here's the thing. You look at
Mhm.
Marvel, especially Marvel recently. We get so excited for these movies. That's why I love Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four so much, is because I mean, even though they're the first two Marvel projects under the new regime, like we're back to
Yeah.
form. They got rid of, I think, Bob Chapek, him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
With all this fucking horse shit they've been pumping out.
Yeah.
Um, I love those two movies, but it's kind of like you look at those, and the reason I think those are so much better than the previous Marvel stuff is it's not the movie itself is not a trailer for the next project. It's
Exactly.
they focus on the film where it's like we're gonna make a good movie, you know?
Like they made a movie first, added the
Yeah,
superhero after.
exactly. I'm like, because in my opinion, dude, just having a good superhero movie in turn sets up other projects without even trying to. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is really good. And sure, sometimes you may like that doesn't make sense. That's sometimes not the case. But you look at the first Iron Man, just by
Hmm.
him, Iron Man being like you look at Coulson in the first Iron Man, and they
Exactly.
say Shield that they don't say Shield, but they say what the acronym stands for: Strategic
Hmm.
Homeland. I always forget; it's fucking long.
Yeah.
But he announces it, and people, fans who know are like, oh, like that, and that just sets it up without having to set it up. You know,
Yeah.
sure you have the after credit scene, but like I think the after credit scene is perfect because it doesn't like it's not like Thor fucking Love and Thunder where they say Hercules is in it and they just are not gonna fucking touch it.
Yeah.
You know?
I miss when after credit scenes were just fun little bits
Yeah,
that were
exactly.
there. Like I
Yes.
saw a tweet where a guy was complaining at the point of the
Yeah.
last end credit scene is Superman with him and Mr. Terrific, and he's like, "What's the point?" And it's just like,
It's just a
to
fun
be,
little thing.
it's fun. That's what's
Yeah.
the point.
And it's also like this is also the first film in the new DCU. We already know the next three like the next three Peacemaker, Green Lantern, Supergirl, and Clayface, the
Hmm.
next four. Those are officially happening. That are all in the continuity. They're already begun production. Like Supergirl's already wrapped. Green Lantern's wrapped. Peacemaker's
Yeah.
about to come out. They are about to start filming Clayface. That's a
Mm.
whole conversation on another day. Why we're getting a Clayface movie. But it's kind of like Gunn said, like he didn't say no to like he's basically said we will have after credit scenes
Yeah.
that are a tease for another project. But he's just like we're not going to tease a project unless it is officially happening.
Hmm.
You know, either filmed, production just began, they just started shooting, like or there's a date. Like we're not going to do that, and I appreciate that so much because it's like especially Phase 4 and 5 Marvel, they throw all these after credit scenes that aren't going to fucking happen. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
that even happened in some of Phase 3. Like you see, like the Doctor Strange after credit scene with Mordo. You know, they didn't
Hmm.
do anything with that. Instead, it's off fucking screen by the time Doctor Strange 2 comes around. But like that's not as bad as some of what it's become, you know.
Hmm.
But it's kind of like I really appreciate that's what they're doing differently from Marvel, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like we're focusing on a good movie, but it's also like, okay, I guess let's talk about it now. This video could be all over the place. We're just geeking out, having fun, hanging
Yeah.
out. But like you look at I think James Gunn is the people are gonna blow up on me. And don't get me wrong, I'm just gonna address this now. I am both a Zack Snyder and a James Gunn fan. I like both. And I think it's so funny the discourse online with the Snyder because I'm a fan. I'm not a Snyder cultist. I'm not a
Yeah.
James Gunn cultist. I'm a fan of everything. And like I was talking with my buddies, he's like, "You're really excited? Like I thought you loved." One of my other friends, like I thought you loved the
Hmm.
Snyder stuff. I'm like, I do, but here's the thing. Even when I was initially disappointed when
Hmm.
they got rid of Henry Cavill, I was just disappointed because I felt bad for the guy, and
Yeah.
I've always wanted a follow up to Man of Steel
Hmm.
that's more in line with because whether you like the Snyder trilogy or not, by the end of the Justice League, he is the Superman everyone like. It was an arc. That's what Snyder was trying to do.
Yeah.
So even though it got can't, you know, that verse universe got ended, they ended it.
Hmm.
If there was going to be any other Superman project afterwards, it would have been more akin to like what Gunn was doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm disappointed by that. But at the same time, I'm like, here's the thing. I'm a comic book fan. I'm a Superman fan.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, I just want a Superman movie. I don't care who plays him or who's directing. I'm like, just give me good Superman content because it's kind of like at the end of the day, I'm a character. I'm a bigger Superman fan than I am a James Gunn or Zack Snyder fan.
Hmm.
You know, people get hold on these directors. I'm like, yeah, they've made good movies or whatever or bad movies, but I'm kind of like, I just want a good like I'm a
Hmm.
superhero fan first. You know, like I'll be honest. Sure, I would love to see the rest of Zack Snyder's Justice League stuff in the Elseworlds project or
Hmm.
whatever. But if it would came between that and getting a sustaining DC like animated universe, cinematic universe that's consistent, and like we're getting these projects, I choose that any other day than like just having those two movies. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like I don't care who's making it,
Yeah.
but they have to respect the character
Yes.
above all else. So
Yeah. I'm like, don't throw away like all those people are talking about, I want it's got to be this director. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, it's like, it's the character first.
hmm
That's why the MCU succeeded before any other franchise that tried to replicate the Marvels, because every other franchise tried building the universe first. I'm like, no,
yeah,
you gotta build your characters first. The universe comes second. You look at Superman. They focus. It is straight up like, yeah, you get the Justice League, get the Justice Gang, get all these other characters, but it is
yeah,
straight up a Superman flick.
exactly.
And like
It's
it's
about
Superman
Superman.
first.
hmm
Exact. Yeah, yeah. Like what you just said. And it's like it's Superman, and that in turn, like just having all these other characters in there, but making Superman film, that in turn builds up the universe. It establishes
Yeah.
it. But anyway, I'm excited for what they're going forward with. Also, another reason I think James Gunn, people who disagree with me, was whether he was the perfect guy for Superman or not. I think
hmm
even though I love the movie, you could say maybe he shouldn't have been the guy to direct it. But at the same time, I think he's the perfect guy to run the studio because
Yeah,
he's a comic book fan. And
exactly.
people are, because you look at Zack Snyder, you look at the Russo brothers. I think they've made some
hmm
of the best Marvel flicks of the last decade, but they're not.
Uh,
Oh, you don't think so?
I have my own gripes with the Russo
Yeah.
brother.
Honestly, the only one it's hard for me to get through now.
hmm
Just me, my personal opinion is Endgame. It's still great with its certain stuff,
hmm
but I think like I know you don't like it. Civil War is my favorite. It used to be Winter Soldier.
hmm
they're my top two MCU. I love them both. You know.
You see, like
Um.
for me, it's weird. With the MCU, I like Phase 1 and 2 for
Yeah.
the most part, and then Phase 3 onwards, I'm not that big a fan of it. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I've been told that I might be too much of a hater about it, but yeah,
Nah, dude. Everyone's
Phase
got their own
3
opinions.
onwards is kind of
Yeah.
here and there for me.
It definitely. I feel, man, because I'm a defender of Phase One,
Phase
where
one is
people are
my
like, oh,
favorite.
Phase One's the weakest one. I'm like, well, you gotta look at us who are like, we're comic book we're Marvel fans before MCU ever was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, Marvel before Disney got it was such a
Was
different entity.
so good.
Uh, and and like, sure, there's like, I'm glad it picked it up because they were able to give the financial stability that Paramount wasn't able to give. I
Yeah.
think we've had amazing projects since, of course, but like
Mm-hmm.
you look at the Lionsgate Marvel films, you look at all these shows, you look at
Yeah.
all this anime that we grew up on. When Phase One first started, people don't realize or people forget how big of a deal that was. I think it's just
Mm-hmm.
because we've been spoiled with how much content we have now. Where when
Yeah.
Phase One was coming out, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think because I just did an Infinity Saga rewatch, rewatched all of them. Things that I love, I don't think hold up much anymore. I just love them for nostalgia, you
Mm.
know. But like, I still like them. I think the first Thor and first Cap are okay, you
I
know.
still, in my opinion, those two are the best out of all of their movies
Really,
for me. Yeah,
you like
like
First Avenger over the Russo brother ones?
First
No
Avenger,
way, that's crazy.
I love First Avenger, and that might
Yeah,
just because growing up, my dad loved war movies, so I watched a lot
yeah,
of war movies with him, and it's basically just a war movie, but with Captain America in it,
yeah. You're
which I
right.
think is the coolest fucking thing ever.
I think I love I love those two movies when I was coming out. Like
Mhm.
nowadays, I still appreciate them. Like I still have
Yeah,
nostalgia for them. I just think, in my opinion, I don't think any of the Thor movies are particularly good. I think the
that's
first one
kind
is
of
by
fair.
far the best Thor film, which is kind of crazy saying.
I've
I
always said that I will die on
Yeah.
that hill.
Oh,
Like
I will too. Yeah.
I'm under the impression that Kevin Branagh should have directed every single Thor film.
Yes. I don't blame him for dipping out though,
Yeah.
because he said it was exhausting making that film.
hmm
But he got to be in a bunch of Christopher Nolan movies. Why not doing that? So like, I guess it worked out for him.
yeah.
even though he's the villain of Tenet, which I think is the most convoluted Christopher Nolan movie I've ever seen. That's one of my least favorite ones. I'm like, that's still the only Nolan film I every time, because anytime I've watched Nolan film, I'm confused. I watch it again, I'm like, oh, it's great. Like the first time I saw Interstellar, I'm like, what's happening? Second time I watch this, cinema, one of my top 10 movies ever. Tenet's the one movie I'm like, every time I watch, I'm like, I still don't know what the fuck is happening. It does not make any goddamn sense.
Doesn't help that it's adapting a book on top of that.
No, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I'd say the two leads though, like Robert Pattinson is fucking great in that film.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the lead. I forget that guy's name.
It's been so long.
He's great. He was in the Black Klansman. He's great in that. He was before I knew of man, dude, I'm fucking blanking out on everything today. The guy who's currently playing Jon Stewart in Lanterns that's about to come out. He was in Rebel Ridge. Before I saw him in that, when I saw him in that movie, I was like, oh my god, this is Jon Stewart. And then he got cast. I was like, perfect. Before him, the guy who was the lead in Tenet was who I wanted.
Yeah.
But anyway, tangent aside, man, I'm a stark defender of Phase One. Because I think when I did the rewatch, I think Iron Man 1, 2, The Incredible Hulk, and the first Avengers are all four so amazing. I'm a defender of people think I'm crazy. I think my most underrated superhero film of all time is the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk. He's still my favorite Hulk and Banner.
It's great.
He's great. That's one of the most underrated. I think that and the Wolverine, the second Wolverine movie, are my two most underrated. I think those are the most underrated. I think they're great. Yeah, the Silver Samurai shit in Wolverine's a little hooked. Like, I think the stuff beforehand is like fucking great. I like it more than Logan. I know it's controversial. I don't love Logan.
I'm not the biggest fan of Logan either.
Yeah, I really like it, but Old Man Logan is in my top 5 Marvel books of all time, and so it's just like I thought him being old, he was great as old Wolverine. I thought the stuff that was great in that movie was amazing. Patrick Stewart especially was phenomenal in that film. But for someone who's a huge fan of that book, I'm like, man, it sucks that Marvel didn't own it at the time. I would have loved to see like him fight the Hulk and Red Skull and shit. Like fucking him and Hawkeye trying to run away from the fucking Moloids from the Mole Man. Like that shit would have been awesome, you know. But anyway, back to Superman. Fucking great. Yeah, man. How do you feel like? How did you feel about the movie?
I think it is by far one of the best movies I have seen.
Oh, so good. He fucking nailed it. That's why I think he's in a way got to edge up on. Now, Kevin Feige did the impossible with Marvel. I'll give him that. But one thing I'm excited about Gunn coming forward with DC is that he's not only a comic book fan, he's a comic book reader. Like the dude posts on his Instagram anytime he finishes a graphic novel. Like before, I think it was like a few weeks before they announced he's running DC, or it was a few weeks before they made him in charge and he created DC Studios.
Yeah.
He posted on his Instagram, like, I just finished Strange Adventures by Tom King. And I was like, what? That blew my mind that like this A-tier director who's making all this stuff was like just felt like did, you know, all embarrassed. Not that we were embarrassed and stuff, but just had not even the audacity, but just like this guy, this huge guy in Hollywood just posted something so niche that like us fans are like this. Not only was it a niche post, it was a niche fucking comic book about Adam Strange. Who the fuck knows about that guy except people like us?
Very few people.
Yeah, I'm like, first off, it's a Tom King book. Second off, this is an outside of continuity, like pseudo decompression Watchmen style story about Adam Strange and Mr. Terrific.
Like,
which I could see
nichest character.
Yeah, I could see why he loves Mr. Terrific, because I knew of Mr. Terrific beforehand from the cartoons and stuff, but it was actually that book that made me a huge fan of him. The most
I know about Mr. Terrific is from that one episode of Brave and the Bold.
That's great. That is an underrated show, dude.
It is so good. It's the reason I love the Silver Age so much.
Yeah, bro. When I just saw a reel the other day. Is the episode when Batman confronts Joe Chill, and both the Phantom Stranger and the Spectre
are voiced by Kevin Conroy and
Fucking
that
Kevin
Mark
Conner, Mark
Hamill.
Hamill. I'm like, dude, like peak. And then also just the green. My favorite episode of that whole show is the my two favorite episodes. People forget about this one. One of them is the team up he did with uh Red Tornado. It was the Christmas episode,
Yes, I love that episode.
and that episode was great because they did a twist on the origin. Now everyone's like, "Oh my god, the Batman origin again." I'm like, "Yeah, I know," but they did something different. Like they're like, "No, what if Bruce Wayne was a brat?"
Yeah.
And like it was during Christmas time, he wasn't grateful, and he learns a not only does he like his parents are killed in front of him, and he vouches vengeance on crime, but also
Mhm.
learns a fucking lesson at the same time
Yeah,
about what it means to be like you gotta be a good person on top of that.
exactly.
And then also just like it being Christmas and then Red Tornado is like a really cool character. And I'm like that
I
one, and then obviously the Green Lantern episode is like
is that
iconic.
the one where he like beats the
Uh,
crap out of Guy
yeah, they
Gardner?
adapt the one punch thing.
Yeah.
That episode's just great because just the amount of memes from that episode alone.
But speaking of Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion
Yes,
just blows it out of the park with that.
all the Justice Gang, perfect
All the
casting.
Justice Gang,
Um,
perfect.
he was my fan cat. I think I told you this. He was my fan casting for Hal Jordan for the longest time.
Yeah, because he's played Hal Jordan
Yeah,
before, and he was
he's my
awesome.
he's my not. I was about to say he's my favorite Hal Jordan. Like there's been a fucking like a gazillion of them. Like of course you're gonna be better than Ryan Reynolds. Which if you watch that movie, Ryan Reynolds doesn't do a bad job. It's the script.
No,
It's the script and directing is what
because
makes
Ryan
that movie
Reynolds
bad.
is just a good actor.
Yeah,
So
and but like he was my fan casting because I'm like whenever besides Batman and Superman, Hal Jordan's my favorite character of all time.
yeah,
And anytime I read a Green Lantern book, it's Nathan Fillion's voice I hear for Hal because of the cartoons.
mhm.
But then when they announced that he's going to be a Green Lantern, I was like, oh my god, Hal! And they're like, Guy Gardner, I'm like, Guy Gardner, but like he knocks it out of the park. Like
Mhm.
he's one of those actors of like he could be a great Hal, but also be a great guy.
Yeah.
You
Like
know?
Nathan Fillion is probably my top five favorite actors of all time,
Oh, he's
and
peak.
I love Guy Gardner on top
Yeah,
of that. So it's
yeah.
I
The original four
hmm
are amazing, and it's amazing that dude. We're going to see a live action Hal, John, and Guy like on screen
on
like in
screen.
like 7 months. And I'm
That's
so
insane.
I'm hoping we get the trailer soon. I'm hoping they surprise us and like um after the last episode of Peacemaker season 2 within the
Mhm.
next 2 months they gives the trailer. But I guarantee you they're saving it from New York Comic Con. Um
Yeah,
uh
they find a way to sneak Kyle in there.
dude, yeah. I know Gunn posted there was a huge like there's a trending tweet on X or something about like, hey, are all these characters going to be in chapter one? And he said none of them are, and it was like,
hmm
I can't remember if it was Wally or Barry, just Flash in general. It was
hmm
like Flash, Nightwing, Kyle Rayner, and a few other characters. And he said, and Aquaman, I think he's like, yeah, none of them are going to be within this first blah 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 blah. Which I'm
hmm
like, I love Kyle. He's the OG4,
Yeah,
but it's also like, I think he's smart. Like, don't give us Kyle right away.
yeah. Because I feel like doesn't Kyle just kind of come with a lot of extra
Well, because
stuff
people
with him?
dude, I could talk Green Lantern all day. Like, I say Green Lantern has the biggest lore in comics, easy.
It could be its own mythos. I remember you telling me
Exactly.
that
It
before.
practically is its own mythos. But like, you can make a whole Green Lantern franchise of films and TV shows and not have any other DC character in it.
Heck,
You
the
know?
third Lego Batman game is more of a like a
Yes, for
lantern
real.
game than
I never
anything
got to play.
else.
I never got to play that game, but when I finally get a PS5, I'm gonna go back and get that game.
Yeah,
I my
I love it.
Lego Batman 2, I think is like a masterpiece.
hmm
I think that game was great, but I always wanted just being a
Lego
GL
Batman
fan.
3 is honestly my favorite.
It is. I've never played it. I want to so bad. Yeah, because it was the different. The premise was it was the different Lantern planets, right?
Like more like Brainiac captures the main lanterns from each
Yeah,
color, and
yeah,
then it's more of a lanterns and DC as a whole kind of
yeah,
game than a Batman game.
yeah.
But I still love it. The hub worlds kind of suck because they went over quantity over quality, so they're all like.
Oh,
But beyond that, the characters they have is great. I love that game. It's
yeah.
probably my favorite DC game.
I need to play it. They haven't made a Lego DC game in a minute. That was like the last one, I think, right?
No, the last one was Lego
Or the Super Films.
Supervillains,
Was that
and
good or
that game blows ass. I
it's
played
bad?
it. I don't know why the main gimmick of the game is that you create your
Yeah,
own character, which is something you do in every Lego game.
Yeah,
It's such a disappointment because that's the only Lego game where Kevin Conroy plays Batman and he's there for like
he
two
plays
minutes.
Batman in it.
Yeah, and he's there for like 2 minutes because they get trapped on Dark Side, or they get trapped on Apocalypse
Yeah,
through the entirety of the story while the crime syndicate pretends to be the new Justice League.
bruh.
It's such a bad game, but the hub
Damn,
worlds are better.
they need
So
to late make. It's about time to make a. I just saw something today that apparently there's a new Lego Batman or DC related game coming out next year. Apparently,
mm-hmm.
but I need to
Hopefully,
play. I need to play a third one, bro. That game, that and Lego Batman 2 are already over 10 years old. That's
but
crazy.
then like just speaking of the crime syndicate, Ultraman being
Yeah,
in Superman, that was a
yeah.
surprise for me.
I All right. Yeah, we keep going on 10. We gotta get back.
Yeah.
No, okay,
No,
yeah.
but
So
like but Ultraman, no, I was surprised he was
yeah,
there. I mean, I feel like the movie could have been the same without
I'm
him.
a little here's the thing why like it bothered me initially, but not anymore.
Hmm.
Is Gunn smart?
Yeah,
I'm like, that's definitely not gonna be the last we see of that character.
yeah,
Um, because I guarantee you it's gonna be Bizarro because it's clone.
yeah.
I was just a little disappointed that they used the name Ultraman because I'm like, that kind of DC. I feel like DC does this a lot where they use a lot of characters by name or mythos, but then it's
Hmm.
not the character of all. You look at Wonder Woman 84, Maxwell Lord. That's not Maxwell fucking
That's
Lord.
not Maxwell.
You look at Black Adam. They fucking use the Intergang
Yeah.
just as generic. I'm like, no connection to Apocalypse or Darkseid. Their motivation doesn't make any sense. I'm like, that's just by name only. You know,
Hmm.
I feel like I was like, here's another thing where it's like they use um I feel like Gunn just kind of took a lot. They took the pre-Doomsday suit in there.
Yeah.
They have the ultimate. It's the Doomsday mask, and then I don't know if you knew this. Jeff Johns did a New 52 Superman story called Men of Tomorrow. Did you ever read that?
I've heard bits and pieces
So
of it.
there's a character called Ulysses.
Yeah.
That's basically it's funny. Okay, last tangent. So I'm a huge fan of both, but Scott Snyder and Jeff Johns rip each other off all the fucking time. Um, which they're kind of, I think, eventually once Scott Snyder became big, they kind of not that they fought, but they were both two
Hmm.
like giant. They had two different visions for DC.
Hmm.
I think I'm a huge fan of both of them. I like Jeff Johns' interpretation of the whole mythos and explanation behind the multiverse more than Snyder's. You know,
Hmm.
um, but I like individual Snyder stories more than Jeff Johns. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like Court of Owls is like fucking peak, you know. But then like I prefer Doomsday Collected Death Metal any fucking day,
Oh my
you
death
know.
metal.
Oh my god, that is trash. People will attack us, but I'm like, okay, metal was cool. Death
Hmm.
metal was like that, dude. That's the event that made me hate tie-ins for the rest of my fucking life. I was like, because the tie-ins for metal, there wasn't too many of them. They are all cool and well written. And I was like, okay, metal's gonna be death metal's gonna be the same thing. No, you don't need to fucking
Hmm.
read any of them. Um, but anyway, it's funny because there's this character named Ulysses that's kind of an allegory for Superman. It's like he's from another abandoned world, red
Hmm.
sun, gets powers, but he's got the U. And
Yeah.
so I thought it was going to be a mix between Ulysses and then Scott Snyder did a Superman New 52 Superman book called
Hmm.
Unchained. It's literally the exact same fucking premise, literally verbatim. I think the art in Snyder's book it's by Jim Lee, so it automatically looks better. I think it's still
Yeah.
good, but I think Jeff Johns' book is better written.
Hmm.
Um, but I thought James Gunn was pulling from those because there was no way they were going to do Ultraman from Earth 3.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I
that's like
think
way too complicated.
yeah, and I think Gunn's smart because Gunn's like, listen, the multiverse fucking exists. That's how this universe got started.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna see that stuff play out in Peacemaker season 2.
Hmm.
Because in the trailer, in your first one, there was a double.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the Flash reboot messed things up, the
Hmm.
movie, and then I think Peacemaker is gonna start out in the DCEU, and then he's gonna
Yeah.
go through some dimension door, this pocket universe, because they say the pocket thing he's got in his house or his dad's
Yeah.
house is related to the pocket dimension Lex Luthor
Yeah.
makes in this
Like,
movie.
what's it? So I saw a teaser for it when I went to see
Yeah.
Superman, and they did talk about how it seemed like he is dimension hopping.
Yeah. So I think he's going to come over to the new continuity. That's what I
Yeah.
think. Well, I think that's really cool. I think that's going to be, I think Superman just started, but I think Peacemaker is going to be the secret story where Gunn's like, okay, because that explains like, oh, what? How come this new universe? He was in clearly in the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
I think Peacemaker's going to explain that and be like, okay, certain characters end up migrating over, which people are like,
Yeah.
that's so dumb and that's egotistical and stuff. I'm like, okay, first off, Gunn's the boss, so I don't
Yeah.
blame him for wanting to bring his shit over, but also this makes sense with any. Everyone's like, it's got to be a hard reboot. And initially, when they did it, that's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it's grown on me, and I like Peacemaker the show a lot. I'm kind of glad
Yeah.
they're continuing it because I'm like, but also this is the most comic book thing ever. You look at any DC reboot in comics
Mm-hmm.
history, anything
I mean,
ever,
just
things
look
carry,
at
yeah, things from the previous continuity carry over while other things get rebooted.
heck, this is also just look at what Crisis did. Like,
For real, yeah,
that's literally what happened.
yeah. You look at the New 52. I'm like, okay, every character gets rebooted except Batman and Green Lantern.
Yeah, pretty much.
They just get truncated down.
It's like
Now,
I would like to introduce you Power Girl.
for real, like people can say, "Oh, well, look at Doomsday Clock. The New 52 is the same continuity." Yes, that is later, but I'm talking about when they first did it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. This happens with all the time, like you said, like Crisis, uh, like Psycho Pirate remembers the
Mm-hmm.
previous continuity, and then those previous continuity characters, some of them end up migrating to another fucking planet on Earth 2
Yeah.
or the pocket universe that Alexander Luthor made, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I appreciate Gunn being like, we're not doing multiverse. It's been over. It's been done to death recently. Marvel's in the whole saga. He's like, I'm gonna have Peacemaker be like the last thing. Be like, we're gonna use the multiverse to explain this, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it will come into play later. Like I personally think that like we'll see certain actors, certain characters, but this is gonna be like 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
You know, like when the multiverse will be fresh again, because I think
Mm-hmm.
knowing Gunn, he'll do it right. He's a well-written character. But he wrote, he's just, I think he's gonna run the ship great. That's the point way back when I was trying to make with the Russos, is that like you get all these amazing directors, right?
Yeah.
They're comic fans, but they're not that hard. They read the material that they're adapting for their movie.
Yeah.
Gunn reads everything.
Everything.
I'm
Yeah.
like, if his Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy doesn't say it enough, like
Mm-hmm.
he himself does it. That's why I think he's the perfect comic book guy to run this,
Mm-hmm.
because he reads current stuff. Like he posts all the time. Like, I forgot, but it was just a recent series he read. You know, they're
Mm-hmm.
doing Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which came out within the last 5 years. He's a Tom King fan, so am I. I'm like, hell yeah, we're getting all this shit. You know, but yeah, man, Superman. It's great. It's just, and someone who liked the Snyder stuff, I like that as an Elseworld style thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is comics canon, like Earth Prime, animated series. Like this is the core
Yeah.
essence. This is Superman, you know, and I think this is the perfect blend of the Richard Donner esque. For me, this is the animated series, because the
Yeah.
animated series is a combination between like the classic Donner stuff from when it comes to just
Mm-hmm.
the films, but also post crisis slash, you know, Superman's not afraid to get his hands dirty every once in a while
Yeah.
and fight, you know, because that's what I want. I want a perfect blend of the two. Because don't give me another Superman Returns.
Exactly. I really liked how they kind of leaned into that kind of silver age ridiculousness that they
Yeah.
had back then. Like Crypto just exists and he's just a fucking unruly super dog. Superman
Yeah.
has robots that, he probably built that take care of him in
Yeah.
his Fortress of Solitude. You have random fucking monsters where he's just like, oh, I wanna like study it or take it to a zoo or something like that.
Yeah.
The
For real.
fucking the monkey hate squad.
That was good. That was great. I actually
That
thought
was-
that was funny. I get
I
what people were
love
trying
that.
to say, like, oh, is James Gunn trying to make this an allegory for what happened to him? No, get the fuck out.
No,
I
it's just
yeah.
stupidly funny.
Yeah. I think this is a commentary on just the comic book fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And people, Snyder cultists will be like, oh, I'm like, no, I'm a Snyder fan. That's not what he's doing. He's
Mm-hmm.
saying like all these fans bitching or people bitching about that's not mine, blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, get the fuck over it. You know, like this is
Yeah.
new. This is, if you don't like it, if that's not for you, that's okay. Like everyone's got their
Mhm.
own interpretations. Like I got my interpretation. Everyone's got their own thing. You can like
Yeah.
multiple things.
Exactly.
Like for example, just because I love this, and the first time I saw it, I was like exhausted. I think I told you I was exhausted, and I was kind of sick. And like, this is my most anticipated movie since the Batman. So it's
Yeah.
my most anticipated film of the last like 3 years since that movie. And so going in, like I I needed to see it again. It wasn't like
Hmm.
Fantastic Four recently. I was like, that's amazing. Which I know you haven't seen Fantastic Four. It's great. It's fucking awesome. I
That's
loved it.
all I've heard.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it's a
I'm a,
shame that it's fucking bombing because that movie should not.
mhm.
You know.
It's just like I grew up with a lot of the Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
and I kind of want to watch it at the same time. Like, I just something about like reading like newer Marvel
Yeah.
that I just don't want to watch it. But Thunderbolts has made me want to watch it
Yeah.
more.
I'll say
But
this though. It's great. I'll just tell you this. It's
mhm.
not spoiled. It has nothing to do with the current state of the MCU. It's its own
Well,
thing.
yeah, I know that because of the
Yeah.
Thunderbolts end credit scene. But it's
Yeah.
like I'm still kind of chopped up on the casting because I love Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I'd
In my
want him
opinion, I'll just say for someone who's seen it, I'm gonna see it
in.
again a third time on a date next week. So, but I didn't play dumb, but I was like, yeah, we go see Fantastic Four. Like I haven't seen it already twice. But I was like, oh yeah, of course. But I had the same worries.
Hmm.
He's he's great. He's Reed
Hmm.
Richards. I'm just gonna tell you, like in my opinion, he's Reed Richards. The one I was most nervous about was The Thing.
Yeah.
He is phenomenal. But yeah, man, just from the opening credit, the score is phenomenal.
The score is wonderful.
So good. It's nowhere on the. It's not like the Man of Steel Hans Zimmer score, but oh, do you not care?
So as I've gotten older,
Yeah,
I've liked the at least the newer stuff Hans Zimmer has done, like, kind of less and less.
yeah.
Like I feel like at certain points, like I mean
Starts
he's
to bleed
good, but
together.
I just need something
I'll
new. But
say
I
his new score for F1
mhm.
is the most original score he's done in a long time, in my
I
opinion.
have heard the theme song. It's pretty good.
It's really good.
But the
Yeah,
Superman theme song, I love how because they use the original Superman theme song a
yeah,
couple of times in the movie, but I love how it feels like it blends the old
yeah,
song into a new one that has
yeah,
the same feeling as the old one, but
yeah.
then it's new, it's fresh, it's just
The so yeah,
so
because it's
good.
got because there's two themes.
Hmm.
There's the they bring back the Williams, and then there's a new theme that they brought in David Fleming to write,
Yeah.
and it's the Last Son theme. I
Hmm.
think that is one of the coolest themes I've heard in a forever. And I
It's
love both. There's
hmm
never been a bad Superman score in my opinion. Um, like I love the Man of Steel score. Like I love it. That's one of my just favorite scores of all time. But this new
hmm
score matches the film perfectly.
it does.
It's great. Because I wanted the OG Superman thing. It works,
Hmm.
but I was afraid that I was like they're just gonna do that over again. But it's just a little tease because like even though I love the Man of Steel theme, like it's I think in my opinion it's
Hmm.
incredible. Like the John Williams Superman thing, that is Superman theme. Like that is
Yeah,
Superman. Like it
like
it will always be recognized. You know, and it's also like the Superman is such a hard, I feel like, character to come up with new music for.
yeah.
And I feel like you only strike gold once. So that's why I was like, the Man of Steel theme is amazing. But I feel like
Hmm.
you're not, I feel like you're not gonna no one can make another original Superman. People could, but it's just like nothing's gonna come up between those two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but the new theme is great. I love it.
The new theme is
Um,
awesome.
yeah, we start out and like he's finding Antarctica. The casting around the table is phenomenal. Um, I like so when he fights the Hammer of Baravia.
Yeah.
Did you know that's David Cornsweet
Yeah,
voicing him?
I saw some behind the scenes where he's like, "Oh, the accent's supposed to be bad, isn't it? Let me
Yeah,
redo
yeah.
that."
I didn't see that real that you're talking about. I didn't see that till like last week. I was like, I had no fucking clue. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's so fucking funny. Um, but I love that, and dude, they take so much stuff. Um, I feel like you look at the stuff that they announced, right? Like
Mhm.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Obviously, they're going to change a few things because you have to. But
Yeah.
like that is straight up the comic book. There's a lot of things they announced that because Gunn being a comic book guy, this is something
Mhm.
that Marvel doesn't do. Like Marvel, like you look at Age of Ultron or Civil War, that's a lot of name only. Now they take aspects from the comic book, but it's
Yeah.
not the story. DC's done that a lot too. I mean, like Batman v Superman is a hodgepodge of like a million fucking different DC stories.
Yeah.
Um, but you look at this, I feel like they had to do something original
Mhm.
for this story and take element. They took so many stuff from different things, like the Lex Luthor frame of Superman stuff, straight out of Birthright.
Mhm.
Because in Birthright he uses the Kryptonian heritage to frame Superman. Now
Yeah.
it's done way differently in that but they straight up pull that from here, from
Mm-hmm.
that book for this movie. I feel like, but then it also is the same. It's like the same theme and tone from All Star Superman, which is like what
Yes.
I wanted. Um,
That is the perfect Superman story, in my
yes,
opinion.
I it's my second favorite. My all time favorite is For All Seasons.
Mm.
That's just my personal. I just
Yeah.
That's my favorite Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb book, and any comic book that they write together is just a masterpiece. They did that, The Long Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
They did the Marvel Color Series, so like Spider-Man Blue, which is fucking a masterpiece in my opinion. It's depressing as fuck, but it's so good. Daredevil Yellow is great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, they did the tone, but they pulled stories from all sorts of stuff. I guess one of my initial, because it grew on me. I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah.
Um, I think since I was, like I mentioned earlier, I was so tired. It was my most anticipated movie ever. I had so many expectations. It was kind of like Captain America: Civil War for me. Is the same
Mm-hmm.
excitement for that. Not, I was way more excited for this than that initially, but like going through, I was like, man, I liked it, but I got to see it again. Like, do I love it? Blah blah. Now I love it. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Um, one of my initial gripes with it was that I'll give Manus. This is why I like Zack Snyder's stuff. It's like it's an Elseworld style. I don't see that as the prime Earth continuity at all.
Yeah.
Like the thing, that's what I get with people. I'm like, what Snyder was going for, he was trying to do his own thing. What I feel like
Yeah.
certain people, and especially the studio, interpreted is that like he's building our MCU. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't communicate with that with him at first, and so in interviews we watch with him now, he's just like, that's what they wanted. But when they talked to me, they said, do your own thing. That's what I fucking did.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing his own thing, but they were trying to make it the MCU. With what he was doing, you couldn't have done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but one thing I really loved about his movies, like him or not, is the epicness that they did, especially Zack Snyder's
Yeah.
Justice League, which besides The Dark Knight is my favorite DC film of all time. It's
Mm-hmm.
in my top five. It's in my top five, I'd say, like, or Dark Knight, Snyder Cut, The Batman,
Mm-hmm.
the new Superman, and I really like Man of Steel. That's, I know people are controversial. I like it for its own thing. That's in there, but I like how he brought it Lord of the Rings epic scale to the
Yeah.
DC mythos. Because I feel like that's one thing DC can have over Marvel is Marvel's fucking amazing, but
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's more, I feel like, has amazing grounded, relatable, just really well written stories.
Yeah.
Where DC's always had that like mythology to it.
Exactly. Like
Yeah, like the
just
epicness,
there's
and
so much about it that it feels kind of larger
yeah,
than life itself.
just the scope. I mean, look, I mean,
Yeah.
just this book says it alone. Like Kingdom Come, it's like this is what I'm talking about. And so when one of my initial gripes is like I feel like it didn't have it doesn't have DC like that epicness scope to it that the
Mm-hmm.
trailers kind of hinted that I initially wanted. But then I read a thing that James Gunn was initially, they ended up cutting this out, but this was supposed to be like 1 week of Superman's life. Like
Yeah.
it was just just a fragment in time. And the more I was like, you know what? That makes Snyder's doing his own thing. This is supposed to be just a single story at the start of the DCU. It's not supposed to
Mhm.
set up everything or be insane. It's just
Yeah.
supposed to be a Superman story. Once I saw that and went the second time, I loved it way more.
It's like setting the foundation that
Yeah,
they can build off of.
because when they made Man of Steel, they didn't know they were going to try to make a cinematic universe out of it.
Exactly.
And so Snyder was like, I'm going to make a sci-fi, um, kind of an epic. What's the I'm blanking out. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Um, just kind of just an epic scope to it. Like
Yeah.
fuck man, I'm blanking out. There's a famous writer that like I'm blanking out. Just yeah, an epic, timeless kind of
Mm-hmm.
saga in one film. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
epic, sci-fi, all these things. It's meant to be timeless. It's meant to be kind of in its own bottle, right? It's its
Mm-hmm.
own story. And he's like, I'm going all out. He's just like, because in my opinion, like Superman's a character. DC world, that's one thing I'm excited about Gunn's doing, how this is already established. Metahumans have already been around for 300 years, which I'm like,
Exactly.
yes,
Yes.
give me the
Live.
JSA. Don't give me that they're on a different planet bullshit. I want them all on this one fucking planet.
Speaking of the JSA in the
Yeah.
Hall of Justice in the
Yes.
back mural, you see
It's
these
so
like
cool.
different JSA members. It's
I
fucking
caught that the
yes.
second time. I was like, oh, I was like,
It's
oh,
like I know I saw Jay
yeah,
Garrick and I saw Wildcat, I think.
Wildcat was the only one I recognized that I saw up there.
Hmm.
And then and Sandman. I caught Sam, the original Sandman. Um,
Yeah.
I couldn't catch Green Lantern or Flash the times I saw it, but I know they're up there. But people don't realize like Mr. Terrific's a member of the Justice Gang at the start of this film.
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific, he's not on the original JLI. He's a Justice Society member.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if they'll in certain shows or I'm sure Gunn will tease it.
Hmm.
Um, I wonder if they'll be like the JSA. He was like a new member came on like when the JSA was
Hmm.
around. The rest of them retired, and then like he stuck around for when Maxwell Lord made the Justice
Yeah.
Gang or the to me they're Justice League International. That's what they are, but they
Yeah.
just call them the Justice Gang because like Justice League International sounds retarded, you know. You know, but yeah, once I saw it with that lens, I loved it way more the second
Hmm.
time, and now it's like I would say it's my film of the year so far. I still loved it. Like
Hmm.
I need to see it even more. I saw it 3 times. I think because it was my expectations were through the roof so much with this, but it's everything I wanted. So I don't know why the first time I saw it, like I was like, I don't know, I got to see it again. I think it's just
Hmm.
because I built up the expectations. It wasn't like the Batman for me where I
Yeah.
saw it and I'm like instant masterpiece. Superman's gonna be like Captain America Civil War for me. It's gonna be like the first Deadpool, where like the
Hmm.
more I see it over the next years, I'm like, this is amazing.
I
You know
was
what I
really
mean?
skeptical when the first like costume leaks came out,
Yeah,
but because I think the costume they had then was a lot duller, it had way too many lines on it.
yeah.
But then in the movie, it's since
It
it's
translates.
there's so much color and the lines you just barely
Yeah.
notice them. It's so
But also
good.
I don't think that first image because the first time I saw the suit, I actually liked
Hmm.
it. Like a lot of people hate it. It didn't bother me. I liked it. But because I'm a sucker for the Kingdom Come logo. It's my favorite Superman
Yeah.
logo. Uh but I will say he probably should have dropped a different image than the first image he dropped because it
Yeah.
was him sitting down. It was dull. And also the
Hmm.
entire advertising campaign before they showed anything was like, this is All Star Superman. And when they dropped him, like, why everyone's like, why the fuck is he sad? You know? I'm like, maybe you should have dropped a more traditional heroic,
I will say
you know,
about the costume, my favorite
yeah,
design choice they brought back. First of all,
trunks.
underwear on
Yeah.
the outside,
Yes.
and it's held up with the belt.
Yeah. No, that's great. Dude, Superman's that character. I'm like, same with Fantastic Four.
Mhm.
Bro, I will say, I'm not going to spoil that movie for you, obviously. There are so many starking similarities between the two of
Mhm.
them that it's kind of amazing that I'm not. I'm just gonna. Do you care if I tell you just one little thing? It doesn't
Yeah, just go
spoil it,
ahead. I
bro.
don't care about
You know how
spoilers.
there's a black hole in Superman? There's a
Yeah.
fucking black hole in Fantastic Four. It's there's so many similarities. It's kind of mind boggling. It's like how they're both kind of the same message, like hope and stuff. You
Hmm.
know, because they both represent that in the comics. And I think it's just amazing that we get the start of each prospective comic book industry in the same year, not only
Yeah.
the same fucking month. You know, and it's just kind of amazing to me. And I thought they were both amazing. They're both great. But yeah, that's why I'm like, you look at the Fantastic Four and the Superman. I'm like, those are two suits. This is coming from someone who liked the Man of Steel suit. I
Yeah.
thought it was epic. It looked cool. Like, really like this movie or not, they looked amazing.
Hmm.
But I'm like, Superman's a character you gotta have. If you want to do Superman right, he's got to be an established superhero metahuman world. You
Yeah.
know, they were doing an Elseworlds thing with Man of Steel. It's like, what if Superman's in the real world? Yeah, that's the movie you're trying to go for, but that's not Superman.
Yeah.
That you gotta. That's its own
He's the
interpretation.
yeah, he's the man of tomorrow. If you want
Yeah,
like Superman with a capital
yeah.
S Superman there,
But you
like
gotta. I guess how am I trying to say? I mean, I know you understand what I'm trying to say, but it's like,
hmm
yeah, those movies are like, it's what if Superman was in the real world. That worked for those movies. So the way everyone was like, oh, Superman can be trusted, that worked for that film because they were trying. Warner Brothers wanted like a Dark Knight approach to Superman, which I think is
yeah.
crazy, but like that's what they wanted, right? So they put Superman in the real world. Comic book accurate Superman has never been in the real world. Now, sure,
No.
in comics, he's like the first one, the first guy to appear sometimes
Hmm.
of the current era, you know. But also
Yeah.
the JSA existed. You have other heroes existing and stuff, and so it's not like people are already used to comic book characters.
Hmm.
So that's why I loved about like, yeah, Superman is the leader of all of them. He's the most powerful. He's the one that like makes the biggest cultural impact and shock around the
Yeah.
world. But I loved how he wasn't the first because I'm like, give me
Yeah.
the fucking JSA. I want that. Which speaking of,
Kid.
man, the rumored plot, which gets me pumped up. I hope this is the case. the rumored plot for the Green Lantern show is that because it's a detective
Mm-hmm.
space murder mystery, which is of course it should be. Um, apparently the murder that John and Hal are investigating is the death of Alan Scott, which I'm like,
Ooh.
that sounds fucking amazing. I hope so because that ties it in. Now the Star Heart, you know, the Star Heart is that he
No,
his
I haven't heard that one
so the
there.
Star Heart is his lantern, Alan Scott's
Okay.
lantern, because it's different from the core.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
magic. Apparent, but I think in certain stories and continuities, it's magic and stuff. It was a prototype lantern that
Mm-hmm.
the Guardians still made, which I think is the way they'll go for the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're sent to investigate it. Now the rumor is that he's murdered, and the person who murdered him that's trying to get the power of the Star Heart is Black Hand,
Ooh.
and that he's trying to use the power to summon the Center from Justice League New Frontier. Which
Mm-hmm.
there's been multiple rumors and Easter eggs and stuff leading to the idea that the first Justice League movie within the next few years or so within the Gods and Monsters is going to be an adaptation of New Frontier, which
Yeah.
that story is one of the greatest comic books ever. But bro, this is what I want them to build up to. I want them to build up to Blackest Night.
Mm-hmm.
I want that to be maybe not the end game of Gods and Monsters. Maybe have the Center be the end game for that.
Yeah.
But I want the overall end game to be Blackest Night because first off, that's something different than Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, that means you can because Marvel one biggest gripe is they don't like to kill their characters. And there's
Yeah.
sometimes they have so many stuff where it feels like there's no stakes in these movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm like, bro, if you're doing Blackest Night, the general public don't know that story. You can kill anybody off and have stakes in your film or create stakes, kill like major characters off, and then they're dead for if this is the end game, they're dead for years, before we see them
Yeah.
again. And that makes more sense because when they got snapped in Infinity War, the Avengers, everyone knew they were coming back a year later, Where I'm like, if you do
Yeah, because
Blackest
two
Night,
of the most popular characters,
yeah,
you know,
Black Panther and Spider Man were
like
fucking
and
yoinked
then
out.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of like, bro, if you do Blackest Night, first off, it's more interesting getting turned to dust. They come back as fucking killer zombies with Black Lantern rings.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I
Exactly.
want them to build to. What do you want them to build to?
Mm-hmm. What I'd want to build to,
Yeah.
I don't know. This
Do you
might
have any big
be
fan
kind of
things that they
basic,
want?
but
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I'm trying to think. This might be basic because
Yeah.
I love Darkseid and I love Apocalypse and New
Yeah.
Genesis and all that. But I love it because people call Darkseid a clone of Thanos. They're so
Oh yeah.
vastly different from each other.
Yeah.
Darkseid is so much more interesting in my opinion than at least
Yeah.
the MCU Thanos. That like I don't know, like it feels
Bro,
like
the MCU Thanos is basically Darkseid.
yeah, like it's like a watered down dollar
Yeah.
store
Well, because they
Darkseid.
changed because Thanos in the comics is so much different than Thanos in the movies.
Yeah, Thanos in the comics is actually
Yeah.
like kind of
He's
cool.
a psychopath. He's a simp.
Yeah, no,
That's his main gimmick. Yeah.
that's his whole like reason for destroying. It's not this
Yeah.
oh I want to balance the universe. No, it's not this whole oh I'm a
Yeah.
misunderstood villain bullshit. It was the I want death. I want death fucking
Yeah.
pussy right now.
I have
And
a fucking hard
it's
on
like
for death.
and she doesn't care.
Yeah. That's what's great.
Exactly,
And
which
anytime
is insane.
she bangs Deadpool and Thanos like, it just goes crazy. I personally I
Yeah.
actually like the movie Thanos because even though I like both interpretations, I think it's funny that he's a simp for death and
Mhm.
stuff, but like I like what they did with Thanos in the movies because I'm like, I sometimes think that's stupid in the comics with death, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But the version of Thanos they did for the film is straight up, like you said, a watered down version of Darkseid. They make him his
Mhm.
motivation stuff and the way he acts and stuff. They make him Darkseid.
Yeah. See,
Bro, Darkseid is one of the greatest villains of all time, and I think the reason I want to see him, like
Mhm.
I want New Gods now, and I think they announced they're doing a Mister Miracle show
Yeah.
based off of Tom King's Mister Miracle. Now, here's the thing: we don't know if that's going to be canon or not because the
Yeah.
comic book is it's left up to your interpretation. but it gives the hints that it's not canon. It's its own thing because
Yeah.
Darkseid dies in that fucking book. Now Darkseid has died and come back a
Yeah.
million times because he's an
A
elemental
million
force.
times.
Yeah, he's an elemental force,
Hmm.
kind of like Galactus is for Marvel.
Yeah. He's a new god.
Yeah,
Like,
people don't realize that's why the New 52 sometimes I thought was retarded because I'm like, did you not? The whole point of Grant Morrison writing Final Crisis was to say, no, Darkseid, the new god, they exist. New Genesis, the whole new gods pantheon exists outside the multiverse.
hmm.
You have to have Ubuntu to get it's own reality. And so anytime the multiverse is affected reboots, it's the same dark side. So the fact that they
Yeah.
rebooted Dark Side 2, I'm like, oh, what? you know? And so I know they won't do this. I think they'll be really badass if the dark side we see, if they ever do it, is this dark side from the Snyderverse. Because
Yeah.
technically, I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah.
But that would be cool. The thing is, I don't want him to be the main. Maybe okay. It'd be awesome to see him be the main bad guy for the. They're called chapters. I'm gonna call them phases because that's what they're
Hmm.
doing for one of the phases. But I don't want him to be the main end game villain. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I
Um,
guess you could do for the main like end game villain is the
yeah,
anti-monitor.
yeah.
Like
I
that's the
think
only
I'm
other thing
just
I can
so
think
sick of
of.
multiverse ideas that like I'm
Yeah.
just kind of. I think maybe in
Maybe.
20 years,
Hmm.
um, I think it's just gonna be a huge GL fan that I think like because I still think that's the greatest DC Comics event ever is Blackest Night, and
Hmm.
that'd be so original and different. And one thing that I'm so excited that DC has over Marvel going forward is that DC is not afraid. Like since Marvel's owned by Disney, they have the
Yeah.
parent company aspect. I think they're starting to break out of it now because of Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah.
but they can never do like Jessica Jones for the big screen or certain stories. They
Hmm.
have to neuter it, right? Where
Exactly.
James Gunn announced, like, no, this is all one continuity, a shared universe, but like
Hmm.
we're gonna base it whatever the character is. So like a Swamp Thing movie is gonna be rated fucking R horror film. The
Yeah.
Clayface movie is gonna be a rated R horror film. A Superman movie is not gonna be
Hmm.
a rated R film. That's why I'm so pumped up
Exactly.
is they're gonna make it based off whatever the character is. Like
Yeah.
that's when I'm pumped up. And now DC, the DCEU kind of did that because we got a Shazam film that was lighter,
Hmm.
Aquaman film that was lighter, but then you had James Gunn Suicide Squad, which is hardcore
Hmm.
rated R. They were kind of doing that, but James Gunn made it official. Like, we're not going to change a character's pantheon for a film just because people could go see the next project. We're going to make like it's the next project. It might be like they said, like, Supergirl will be a lot darker. The Batman film will be
Hmm.
a lot darker. Now, those will be must sees for the overall DCU.
Hmm.
Swamp Thing's not going to be probably a necessary watch, but it's
Yeah.
going to be connected. It's going to have ties into that world. It's going to be referenced. You might not have to see it to see next project, but they're not going
Hmm.
to. Let's say you do have to see it for the next project, but they're not going to make it PG-13 for the sake of whatever. It's going to be
Yeah.
R. That's one thing I feel like they got over Marvel that I'm excited about.
I would kill for a R-rated horror detective movie for Constantine
Oh
that's
my god.
not played by Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves, but my God, that movie sucks.
That's a guilty pleasure for mine.
I that's all fair and good, but I
Yeah,
I can't. It's like the main
yeah.
aspect of like one of the
It's not
primary
It's not
characters. Yeah, it's
Constantine.
not
Yeah,
Constantine. It's like he's not even British. Like
yeah.
it's like one of his
I
main
like that
characters.
film for the same reasons like some of the DCU films. It's
Hmm.
its own thing.
Yeah,
It's its own like it's because that's not it's Constantine like we were talking about by name only. That's what Constantine by
yeah,
name fucking only. Constantine is not a direct exorcism guy. Like he's
yeah.
magic, like Doctor
He's
Strange and
he's
shit.
a sorcerer, a
Yeah,
warlock, and a fucking magician in one
yeah.
go. Like
That's one thing to show. Well, okay. Who's the guy that plays him in the show?
Matt Ryan,
Fucking phenomenal. He is
perfect.
Constantine.
He is perfect for
And I'm the
Constantine.
kind of guy where like I'm kind of like bring just put him in the movies.
Exactly. What's crazy about that? So he didn't know anything about the character, but his friend was
Yeah,
like a huge fan. He gave him all this material to read, and he
yeah.
became a Constantine fan
Just from
by
reading it.
playing, just from reading and by playing
Yeah.
Constantine, which
That
is
was
just
that was
that's
the
why it
same
makes
thing
it so
with
much better.
Charlie Cox and Daredevil, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think he knew of him beforehand, but like he became a huge fan after he started playing them. Like he just read it and
Mhm.
stuff.
And then
But
people,
yeah,
I know people are gonna wail and scream. It's like, oh, he's too old now. I'm like, Constantine's a chain smoker. He looks old already.
he's supposed to
Like,
look like fucking shit. He's a jackass. He's a terrible human being. He
exactly.
don't give two flying. He secretly, yeah, he cares secretly, but like he's a fucking mess, bro. No,
Exactly.
knowing
Like,
James Gunn, dude, knowing James Gunn, and
mhm.
that's one thing. James Mangold for the Swamp Thing that gets me fucking pumped. I would initially that gets me pumped just because he's an amazing director.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been my first choice because I was like, I want like give like I know people were like, oh come on, Hunter, that's cliche. James Wan will make a killer fucking Swamp Thing
Mhm.
movie. He's the guy that produced the show. That show was fucking amazing before it got canceled. I'm a start defender of that show. There was some stupid shit in it, yeah, but like, bro, we got we were gonna. I'm so mad it got canceled because those last three episodes we're gonna get the Parliament of
Mhm.
Trees. Now you're talking to somebody who's top three favorite comic runs of all time is Alamore Swamp Thing. That's one of my
Mhm.
favorite things ever. I got the three absolute editions. I had all the trade paperbacks, but I sold it all to get the absolute editions.
Mhm.
Um, bro, knowing James Gunn, Constantine's going to be in the Swamp Thing film.
Exactly. Because he
There,
was introduced in Swamp Thing, right?
yeah,
You told me that. Yeah.
his first appearance is in the Alamore Swamp Thing run, and he's in the background of the panel, and then he becomes a character, and he basically in that point of that run of Swamp Thing. That's the whole twist of Alamore Swamp. That's how he made that character popular. And that's the run that got him the gig to do Watchmen. People don't
Yeah.
realize that because Swamp Thing started 2 years before Watchmen came out, or a year.
Mhm.
Yeah, Watchmen. Did Watchmen start in '85 and finish in '86, or was it all of
It's
'86?
something
It's
around that
around that
time.
time. But I know Swamp Thing started, I think, in '83, '84,
Mhm.
and so yeah. But he became the whole point of that run was Swamp Thing figures out that the entire continuity of Swamp Thing beforehand
Mhm.
was that he thought he was Alec Holland changed into Swamp Thing like the Hulk. He was always trying to figure it
Yeah.
out. And the big twist that Alan Moore did in the second issue of his run, in issue I think it's 21, called The Anatomy Lesson, which is one of my
Yeah.
singular favorite just issues of comics like ever, just single issue comic books ever. It's phenomenal. It's a masterpiece on its own. The whole twist is he figures out that he's not Alec Holland. He was a creature that the Green made. He just has
Yeah.
Alec Holland's memories. Like Alec Holland's fucking dead.
Yeah.
He just his memories are Alec. He has Alec Holland's memories, but he's not Alec Holland. You know,
Yeah.
and but then Constantine figures out how to help Swamp Thing and help him find
Mhm.
his place. But the thing is, he's also a jackass, and Swamp Thing realizes he just has him running all his fucking errands for him. It's actually kind of funny. There's all this supernatural shit that happens, and Swamp Thing, and he's like, he is helping Swamp Thing in a way, like figure out his powers and shit because he's magic, you know. But
Mhm.
then like Swamp Thing's like, I really don't like you. You're a fucking smartass. And then he figures out that like Constantine's like, you're just making me run all your errands. Fuck you. I'm done. Like, I hate you. I'm like, I guarantee you they'll do it. But here's the thing, Constantine, he's magic. You could easily
Mhm.
have him. He jumps realities and universes all the time. Make Matt Rife the fucking Constantine.
Exactly.
Like
Well,
people like what Grant Gustin is Barry Allen and shit.
that's like that's stupid.
I mean, like honestly, dude, I don't think they should do that. But if there's one character they should bring over that like doesn't matter, it's fucking Matt Rife, bro. You
Yeah.
know, in my opinion.
Because he's just so perfect, especially with his own
Yeah,
show not even getting a complete
for real.
season. Like it got
Yeah,
half a season, and then he showed up in Legends of Tomorrow,
yeah,
which was really cool to see. And then that was a whole thing. And then
yeah,
but he's talked about multiple times, like really wanting to come back, but like
yeah,
it's like no one can do it. I remember
yeah,
a long time ago, uh, before James Gunn took control, there was a rumored Justice League Dark show being made. And I'm
yeah,
like, oh, that's really cool. But then it's like Constantine's not going to be in it because they don't have the ability to use him. And
yeah.
it was going to be directed by J.J. Abrams. And I'm like, I don't fucking care about
Bro, the
this
Justice
either.
League Dark
That's
property is bounced like that has been in development hell forever. Like
mm-hmm,
I know Guillermo del Toro had the reins on it for at one point.
mm-hmm.
Um and the original lineup for his film I thought was badass. It was
Yeah.
Constantine, Swamp Thing, fucking Etrick and the Demon. I was like,
Yeah.
yes. I think Zatanna, and then a few other D-list magic characters, I
Mm-hmm.
think. But the rumor
I
was is they were gonna be fighting like Felix Faust. I'm like, that would have been
mm-hmm.
awesome.
I love the kind of Justice League Dark where it's Constantine, Zatanna, and Dead Man.
Yeah.
That's just a
That oh yeah,
classic.
Dead Man. That's great. People don't realize Just Like Dark is fairly new. Like
Yeah.
people forget that. It was 20 New 52 is the first time we ever got something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was their first time ever being Just Like Dark. But that's the one. I'll be honest, I've never jumped into Just Like Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a huge fan of. I've read a bunch of books from those characters within the
Yeah.
make up the team. I'm like my favorite DC character of all time is Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and then Swamp Thing. Like I'm a
Exactly. Yeah.
massive Swamp Thing fan. I'm a massive Constantine fan. Love Etrigan, but I've never read just Like Dark. I know the lineup for the Rebirth I thought was cool, and they had Wonder Woman
Mm-hmm.
on the team and fucking Man Bat for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know
Oh,
why, man.
yeah.
That's there.
I'm like, okay, Wonder Woman makes sense. Swamp Thing makes
Yeah.
sense. Fucking Man Bat,
Man
like what?
Bat, like
Yeah.
he's not even magic. Like that's the whole
Was
thing with just
Constantine on that team, or did he just help out every once in a while?
so it depends on like who is writing it, but essentially
Yeah,
sometimes he's a part of it officially, sometimes he's only there to
yeah.
help out because he
Because
works
James
alone.
Tinian, who's like one of the best modern comic book writers working right now,
Mhm.
wrote the Rebirth run at the start of it. That was his initial
Mhm.
lineup, and I think I might be wrong. I don't think Constantine was on
Yeah, I could be wrong with this. I think
it.
Constantine only kind of did anything for them and kind of slightly joined because of Zatanna.
Yeah,
And Zatanna alone is the only one he really gave a shit about.
I could see Wonder Woman be like, "I fucking hate you. I don't want you on this team."
Oh yeah, no, just shit.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny because he's just such a dimwit. Like
Yeah, it's like I hate you and I don't want you to team. It's like, all right, we'll find someone better than
he's
me.
like
Oh
he's
wait, you
like yeah. He's like,
can't.
hey, you fucking wanker. I could see her being like, just know how good one. Like you're a bad influence. I don't want you anywhere around the fucking team. And Swamp, I could see like Swamp Thing and Wonder Woman are close. I could be Swamp Thing and like whispering in Wonder Woman's ear, like, oh, don't let this guy on the fucking team. He's a fucking jackass. What's funny is they give Swamp Thing in that run a fucking beard and long hair. I'm like, is this supposed to be an Alan Moore fucking reference or something? You know?
In on a slight tangent for something in Injustice 2,
Yeah.
you can get a headgear for him that gives him a giant mustache made out of
That's
vine.
fucking hilarious. I have a little figure of the Swamp Thing from the Swamp Thing Injustice 2 design I thought was fucking badass. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
if there's any live action design, I feel like that'd be cool because he's
Yeah.
the plant, so he's not fully plant. He's got like wood bark that makes up kind of
Yeah.
armor and stuff. I've always thought that was really cool. Now it was the Scott Snyder run, which the new 52 Swamp Thing run is also
Mhm.
fantastic. Like Alan Moore, you'll never beat the Saga of Swamp Thing Alan Moore run,
Yeah.
but there's been a lot of great Swamp Thing stories and runs since. But the new 52 Scott Snyder shit was like he basically blockbusterified Swamp Thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great. But yeah, man, besides Superman Green Lantern, that's probably my most anticipated project. It's and then yeah, but there's a lot of things I think they announced like we're not going to see that movie anytime soon.
Yeah.
You look at like the Authority, they announced that, but they Gunn confirmed that the Authority is kind of on halt right now. Which speaking of, I like the Authority. I'm not a huge fan of them because
Mm-hmm.
the original, I actually got it right here. The Warren Ellis run, the original run, it's very cynical and it's also kind of dated. But also the Authority, it's like how do you tell the Authority story but within the DC universe? Because people don't realize the Authority was Wildstorm before DC,
Yeah.
and it's such a blockbuster worldwide scope of a book and team.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that in an already established DC universe world? Like I loved her in this film. The only reason the engineer was in this film was to set up the Authority because she's not a Superman
Yeah.
character at all. You know,
I knew so little about her.
yeah, she was
So
great and hot
mhm.
as fuck. I loved her, but like,
See,
and she was interesting. But I was kind of
yeah.
like, the only reason she was there was to set the Authority. I'm like, it would have been cool to get like a Tallow or something. You know?
Yeah. A weird thing I have about Engineer in that movie.
Yeah,
I think her costume is boring, but I understand why it's like that because it
yeah,
makes up for her powers, but at the same time it's just like black skin suit,
yeah.
Ultraman's all black like
I could see, like you said, I could see why they did that because them doing the actual comic book design for the
Mhm.
engineer would have looked a little ridiculous. I think
Yeah.
she's just full on. She looks like one of the metal men.
Hmm.
But knowing Gunn, I'm like, but he's also like he does goes for comic book straight up comic booky shit. But looking at his Guardian stuff, I'm like, he'll do the most zany character, but he'll modernify the look for him.
Hmm. Like,
Like
just look at Yondu. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like Yondu's not like in some fucking bikini with the
he's
giant.
not in a crop top and like the open
Yeah,
shoulder.
dude. Guardians. I rewatched first. Yeah, that's why Gunn's perfect. He'll take
Hmm.
something that's really nothing and make it something. You know.
Exactly.
Um. But yeah, man. Like, I guess my initial complaints was like the scope of it, and then I didn't like how the waste the Ultraman thing. But here's my big. But those two, all my gripes to the film have gone away because the more I think about it, the more I loved it, and it's going to get
Hmm.
better over the years. I love it. My biggest issue, if I had to pick something, was um the changing of the Kryptonian lore with his parents'
Yeah,
heritage.
I had gripes about that. I think
Yeah,
they did it better
yeah.
than others would have done it, but it still bothers me a little.
That was my only thing. I get they were trying to do something different. I think the reason I was sour was because I was like, you're doing straight up DC Prime.
Hmm.
Like, I want the comic book accurate characterizations for all of these characters. That's like a huge thing you change. I'm like, you Viltrumite the Kryptonians. I'm like, I don't like
Exactly.
that. And I'm like,
And
yeah,
I was talking to my friend. We were leaving the theater, and I was
yeah,
just like, "Well, are they even going to attempt doing General Zod now?" Like,
yeah, exactly. He's basically gonna be. I saw. I mean, it's basically gonna be the fucking uh, uh Invincible Conquest when he shows up. It'll be Zod be like, I see this world is fucking unprepared for the Kryptonian Empire, some shit. He's gonna fucking rape Superman or something.
it's like, as much as I like the Viltrumites are interesting to me because they're a subversion of the Kryptonite. They're the
Yeah,
Kryptonians.
yeah.
But when you just make the Kryptonians Viltrumites, it's just
It
kind of
doesn't
boring.
work.
Yeah.
I get they were trying to do something different. Now, I heard a rumor about a month before the film came out that was a
Mhm.
plot point, but I was like, well, they already announced they're taking elements from Birthright.
Mhm.
Superman doesn't have all the knowledge he does of his Kryptonian heritage in that book. It's not until a lot later. And so,
Mhm.
and like Luthor framed Superman by misinforming the public about the Kryptonians.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's like, okay, well, they already said they're taking elements from Birthright. He's gonna twist the words. That's not the Kryptonians aren't evil. And then when
Mhm.
the film started and when they did that, I was like, okay, you had engineer, they fucking doctored it, obviously.
Mhm.
And then they don't bring it up
And they
again.
don't
And I'm like, wait, so they are evil?
they
Now,
talked multiple
yeah.
times. Like, even Lex says it's real.
He's like, it's real. I remember in an interview, Gunn's like, no, it's real. I said it multiple times. I don't know why people keep saying that. I'm like, bro, why? I get he's trying to do something different. I wanted the
Mhm.
Prime stuff. He was trying to do something different because Man of Steel, when you go back and look at it, was very much a Kryptonian heritage like film.
Yeah.
And I get they were trying to differentiating that. Now, that is arguably the best part of Man of Steel is all the Kryptonian stuff. Like, I'm sorry, Jor-El is I mean, Russell Crowe's Jor-El is fucking
Yeah.
perfect instead of fucking Rocket Raccoon. Now he was great, but like you didn't really there wasn't much lore. The thing is, they could easily, if Gunn's like, you know what, it's not getting the traction what they could easily go back and change it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Plus, I mean,
Um,
they have Kara right
yeah,
there.
that is why is my biggest gripe. The next film is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. If anybody has actually read that book, that like the plot is specifically derived off of um her father Zor-El in the Kryptonian what's it called when someone's like a lone survivor, not immigrants, but I'm
uh
blanking out. I'm so tired.
Survivor.
Yeah, well, this because they had a chunk of they survived not Kandor, but the city she was living in. Zor-El built
Hmm.
a barrier around it, so they were out. The planet exploded, but they were still surviving in space on the planet.
Yeah.
But the farther they got away from their solar system, the foundation under the rock that the city was on was turning to kryptonite. So she
Hmm.
saw everyone die twice. Now that was a retcon origin. It's the
Yeah.
most recent origin. It's the one they're going to go with, and I think it's by far the best Supergirl. That book is amazing. I
Hmm.
finally read it this year. I covered it on my channel. Struggles, go watch it. Um, but that book is my favorite book I've read this year. If you have, bro, have you read that?
I have not read it.
It
No.
is phenomenal. It's a masterpiece, dude. Like the art, Bilquis Evely, her art is incredible.
Hmm.
Um, amazing. It made me a Supergirl fan. I always liked Supergirl, but I would never care to read her own stuff. I still don't. But that book is amazing. But that's one thing is her lore, the Krypton plays a huge part because the entire book
Hmm.
takes place in space.
Yeah.
I'm like, so how is that going to work? Like,
Yeah.
and plus people forget she didn't fly here as a baby. She grew up to the
Yeah.
age of 14 on
Yeah,
Krypton.
she's Superman's older cousin. Like,
Yeah. And she got here late because of space time or whatever.
yeah, like
But like I'm like, how is that gonna did she know this whole time and was ashamed to not tell Cal? Now in that book, she's not the movie I think they're gonna make where she's an alcoholic.
yeah, because that seems to be the
She's
case.
not really an alcoholic in the comic book. She just
Hmm.
goes to get drunk on her 21st birthday. That's
Yeah.
the premise. It starts off. But they can make it to where like she saw her planet die twice.
Hmm.
Or her people die twice. She maybe got here and saw how Clark was raised and felt because I don't think when they changed. Oh shit! Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I did something. Did you hear music for something for a second?
No.
Okay, I clicked something. Um, I don't. When they made the change, I don't think the Kryptonians are inherently evil. It's just that's their way of life,
Hmm.
you know. But it's
Yeah.
like
Kind of like
maybe, yeah, yeah, maybe.
what's it
Oh,
called? Like
go ahead.
Vikings.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
was gonna say like they were inherently. It's just their way of life is very
yeah.
different than everyone else's.
Maybe, maybe they'll play into that for the benefit. Where like because I based off the end credit scene or not end credit, the end of the film, it's not just for her 21st birthday. Like Supergirl is straight up an fucking alcoholic,
Hmm.
and maybe it's because she feels remorse or guilt for how her
Hmm.
people was when she saw how Clark was raised,
Yeah.
and she saw her people die twice, and maybe that's why. Because they don't mention her birthday, they just mention she likes to go on other planets and drink. You know, they're
Hmm.
definitely changing a few things. I'm just very curious to see because that really bothered me the first time around.
Hmm.
Now, the second and third viewing, it didn't like I let it go. They're doing something different, but I
Hmm.
guarantee you, you can still technically make Zod work, but just in line with the Kryptonians, I
Yeah.
guess. But I don't want them to do Zod at all. For a
Hmm.
long time because
Yeah.
Zod and Lex have been done to death. Now you needed. I'm a Lex Luthor fan. You needed to make
Yeah.
Lex the main villain of this first movie. You had to.
Exactly. You had
But
to.
like, I'm tired of Zod. It's always Lex or Zod. I'm like, okay, it's time for fucking. It's about damn time for fucking Brainiac. I'm a little tired of saying
Yeah.
that.
I feel like Brainiac could actually be a bigger bad than just
I
a Superman villain, though.
yeah, I love Brainiac. I've never been a fan of when they make him a Justice League villain.
Hmm.
Uh, because to me he's the dark side of the Superman mythos. I'm like, he's a big
Yeah.
Superman. Now, sometimes the Justice League have to fight and stuff, but
Hmm.
like, he's not on the dark side level, in my opinion, as a lot of people think he is.
Hmm.
And so, for me, I don't want him to be the overall. I can see why
Yeah,
people
I
want
can
him.
see that.
Now, I want him to be like the big bad of a Superman film or a
Hmm.
Superman mythos film. Maybe you have like Superman 2 and then Supergirl lead up to a Superman 3 where Brainiac is the overarching. You have to have the whole Superman family and then
Yeah.
Justice League help like have the Justice League in that film to help fight Brainiac, but I don't want to be the main villain of like a Justice League film, you know.
Speaking
Um,
of Superman family, do you think
yeah.
they're gonna try to do Connor Kent?
Uh,
Because I feel
yes,
like it like how do you
I
think they
do
would make it
because you
work?
know the guy with the funny mustache that was working for Lex.
Yeah.
I forget his name. That's the guy who helps him create Connor Kent in the comics.
Hmm.
He helps him create Doomsday in the comics too. He's a very big player in the
Interesting.
Death of Superman story. He's actually in the two-parter Death and Return of Superman animated movies they did for the New 52 line. He's in
Yeah.
it. Lex kills him. But
Hmm.
they kind of set it up because the fact that they made Ultraman a clone, they don't reference the fact
Yeah.
that because they said like, yeah, he's stupid because we just used your DNA fully.
Hmm.
Now they kind of set it up to be like
Yeah.
Lex and that guy could be like, you know what? Let's add some more. Lex adds his own DNA, like for he did because
Hmm.
the Connor's the son of Lex and Clark.
Yeah.
And so he's like, maybe he's like, I don't want somebody who's stupid, so let's make somebody who's conscious. I think they should. I think they'll do Connor.
See, as someone who's a pretty like someone who's a fan of Young Justice, that's gonna
Yes,
bother
yeah.
me a lot if they do it that way, but it would make sense at least.
Well, how do you like the origin for Connor?
Connor is, yeah, he's a clone of Lex and
Yeah,
Clark, but like he doesn't like either of them and just pisses off and does his own thing.
I
Like,
think they'll probably do that.
mm-hmm,
I think I want them to start off that way, then eventually, not
mm-hmm,
saying that he's Superman's son or gets buddy buddy with Superman, but I
mm-hmm.
want them to start where like maybe he joins the Teen Titans or Young
Yeah.
Justice, and then whichever Robin or the team shows him like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you don't have to like him, but like that's the symbol you're wearing your heritage. You can
Yeah.
represent. Maybe he's not buddy buddy with Clark, but then like maybe he
He gets
respects.
to it
Yeah, he
because
gets it.
in some versions, him and Clark see each other as brothers, not father
Yeah,
and son. So
yeah. Um, yeah, well, yeah, who knows how they do. I definitely want them to play him
mhm.
off as a kid at first, though.
Yeah, no, if they do any Young Justice anything, I would be genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
It won't be perfect because
Well,
of
they
all
already
the
announced that one of the first
really
films in not Young Justice, but one of the first films in Chapter One is going to be a Teen Titans movie.
well, Teen Titans and Young Justice, like Young
Yeah,
Justice
they're
is
a little different.
essentially like they're literally like they oppose Teen Titans in a lot of ways with how
Yeah,
they do things, and that's what I like about them.
I love the Teen Titans though. I'm pumped
Yeah.
up for a Titans film. Like, give me a Teen Titans like versus Deathstroke movie. I fucking need that.
Hmm.
I need that. I want my ideal Titans line. I want the show, but then add
Yeah.
Connor. I want them to add Connor Kent,
Hmm.
some kind of Kid Flash, and then Aqualad.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
I'm
put
also a huge
Gar in
fan of.
there.
I mean, yeah, make them the team. Who knows how they do it? I want like a. I think them having a big team would be pretty cool. Like Blue Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle being on there. I
Hmm.
would really like. I'd want I'm a huge fan of Miss Martian. She's cool. Like you got to
Yes.
have Raven
I
Star. I
love Miss
think
Mar-
they should do. I'm a fan of the new 52 animated movies they did when they were coming out. I hated
Mhm.
them, but then now doing a rewatch, I think they're great
Yeah.
compared to what we've gotten. I want them
Yeah.
to. I want them to age up. Like, well, if they're doing the Grant Morrison, if they're doing where Batman's already established, I guess Dick will already be Nightwing. So if
Hmm.
you make him Nightwing and then have Starfire be older and then kind of be the mentors for the team.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, dude. I want a really young Titans team, man. I don't want
Hmm.
established. I want to see an origin of the Teen Titans. Like, I
I
think that
just
would be
kind of
really
want
cool.
I just kind of want Donna Troy to come back.
Yes, she'd be great. Well, here's okay. I think we're talking about future DC and stuff. We have to talk about the elephant room. We got to talk about Batman. I I'm
Yeah.
Batman is my favorite character of all time. I'm a Batman sucker.
Hmm.
Here's the thing. The Batman is my favorite comic book film of the last like fucking decade. That and the Snyder
Hmm.
Cut. I love Robert. I feel like finally they had to change a few things. Obviously, like he's not in the manor. But this is
Yeah.
the most comic book accurate when it comes to the Batman lore Batman we've ever had.
Hmm.
And I when Gunn announced that like we're gonna keep that Elseworlds, we're
Hmm.
gonna do our own Batman. It's about him and his son Damian. I'm kind of like, but we just did. If you're gonna do Damian, and this
Yeah.
Batman's been around for a long
A
time.
long time.
I'm like, we just did a veteran Batman with the DCEU with Batfleck,
Hmm.
like a young Superman, older
And
Batman. I
that's like
don't want that.
really, really frustrating for any
Yeah.
Dick Grayson fan or especially Tim Curry
Yes.
fans. Like,
Yeah. Like, get me wrong. I want a Nightwing movie as much as everyone else, but
hmm,
I want, bro. I'm like, we are missing out on so many years of stories
hmm,
and ideas by just jumping to an established Batman,
especially, yeah, and I
especially
like
fucking Damien.
I
Like, come
so
on.
I've grown to like Damien.
I
It's
love
just
Damien.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just like Damien has been overused so much.
Yes.
Like he is. I'm just so sick of seeing Damien. Tim's right over here,
Yeah.
just forgotten about.
Yep.
Like
And
make
he's arguably, even though I'm a Dick fan, Tim is
Mhm.
arguably, I'll stand by, the best Robin.
He is the best Robin. Like
Yeah,
straight
hands
up.
down.
Like I wouldn't even be against them adding more Robin stories with Jason because we don't really have a lot of, at least not a
Yeah.
lot of good stories with Jason as Robin.
This is my biggest thing. I'm a Batman fan. If they decide they want to keep Robert Pattinson's the Reeves verse its own Elseworlds continuity and do a new
Hmm.
Batman, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
However, I'm like, we just got like you watch the Batman and then watch the new
Hmm.
Superman. They're the perfect fucking counterparts to each other. Because
Yeah.
both not are they only the perfect counterparts. The movies are the perfect counterparts. Like
Hmm.
you get a hopeful Superman that's straight up Superman to the core. You get a Batman movie that's straight up a detective. They're the
Hmm.
opposite. Like they're both young. I want a young Batman and Superman growing together as
Hmm.
fucking friends. Like people are like, oh, they should fight. I'm like, okay, when they first meet each other, they may not like each other right away. But
Them
I want a
fighting
world.
is
I
like
want a
this.
world's finest, man.
Yeah.
Like save the disagreements for like they'll always disagree, and like that's
Hmm.
the whole part. But like Dark Knight Returns aspect stuff, save that for later down the line. Have that stuff built. Like that's one
Hmm.
thing I'll give credit to the MCU. You had that stuff with Iron Man and Cap fucking built over a long time. You know,
Yeah.
um, that's why I'm kind of like I want a young Batman and a young Superman. And bro, I know. I think he even said it. I think the reason they consider this idea is because they James Gunn didn't want to screw over Matt Reeves because Reeves gave DC, and this was before
Hmm.
Matt Reeves made the Batman before DC Studios was a thing, and it's
Yeah.
part of a previous thing. And Gunn doesn't want to like disrespect Reeves. I get that, but
Hmm.
also Gunn, you're the fucking boss, bro. If
Exactly.
he
Like,
says no, I'm like, okay, yeah, but like you could tell him like, well, make your movie, but you don't have a fucking choice. like, like, but I get like their professional colleagues, they want to save it, and maybe they're lying to us. I want them to be lying to us, like, because I want Patsy to be the main Batman so bad
hmm.
because he's a young Batman. They grow together, and people are like, well, it doesn't work. It's too realistic. I'm like, okay, first off, if you read any DC comic book, Batman doesn't like any people getting involved with Gotham other than him and the Bat family.
Exactly.
Which to me, my ideal Bat family is fucking Batman, Alfred, and Gordon, and occasionally a Robin.
Okay.
Okay, that's how big of a Batman fan I
See,
am.
yeah, no, like when you get into the Batman Inc. shit, that's stupid. I thought
You know what?
Batman Inc.
I think it's cool,
Dumb.
but only for like a veteran Batman,
Yeah.
not a young like you can't just jump right. Like if they're doing Damian Wayne, I'm like, Batman Incorporated was the next fucking arc after
Hmm.
the whole Batman Son and R.I.P. saga.
Yeah.
That was
I,
the
s-
next thing.
I still think my favorite young Batman is probably Arkham Origins Batman.
That was dude,
Like,
that game's
like
so good. It's underrated.
just the fact they made Batman and Bruce just this arrogant asshole who think that he and he alone can do everything himself, and then he has to
Yeah,
learn that maybe that's not going to work out.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know. See, because I have mixed feelings about the Batman. I didn't like it as much as everyone
Uh
else,
huh.
and I think it's because I'm just a massive Arkham Origins fan.
Yeah, I loved it just because of the detective aspects,
Hmm.
and Robert Pattinson's such a good ass fucking
He
actor,
is such a
and
good
everyone's like, well,
actor.
there's no Bruce Wayne. Well, they're adopting the year like. I'm like, yeah, but if you read continuity, like Batman, especially like you look at some of the New 52 stuff, which is underrated in my opinion. Bruce didn't have
Hmm.
every act like people don't realize. No, Batman is who he is. Bruce Wayne is the mask.
Yeah,
He hasn't figured out the Bruce Wayne
exactly.
aspect of that. And so I think the Batman Part 2 is going to dive into that. Like, he's going to realize, like, after the
Hmm.
events of the first movie, if I keep this up stuff, people are going to fucking figure it out. Like, I gotta change some shit off.
Yeah.
And like, they tease that because the mayor's like, Bruce Wayne, you got to get involved. And so maybe he'll,
Hmm.
like, you know what? I'll throw in this whole billionaire playboy philanthropist, as Tony. Stark would say, persona.
Yeah.
And so, first off, I want them growing together. And then when you watch the Batman, there's no ties, there's no connections, there's no references to anything outside of Gotham City. It's completely stand on its own.
Hmm.
They can easily be in the new continuity, easy, because nothing
Exactly.
happens. Like nothing
Easy.
outside of Gotham
Nothing.
happens. And so I'm just like, this could easily be in the DCU. It's just before he's met anybody. And
Hmm.
I'm like, the solution to their problem, in my opinion, if Gunn really wants him, I'm like, okay, let Matt Reeves do his thing, right? But have it to where, like,
Hmm.
okay, this is the way I would want it. When it comes to the Batman solo films, don't have any other character or hero pop up in them. Don't have Superman or Wonder. Like, I don't want
Exactly.
Wonder Woman flying in and like beating up the Joker or some shit.
That's how they should. I hate the
Yeah,
argument. It's like, oh, that's how comic works. That's not how every comic works.
yeah, for
Like
real.
some stories keep them contained
Yeah,
in the
for
larger
real.
sphere.
I'm
Like,
like,
don't just.
do you how fucking you know how fucking rare it is when someone other than the Bat family, like Superman or a member of Justice League, shows up in a Batman book? Like
Mm-hmm.
Batman, like they come in when it's like Batman is like at his fucking like actually needs that, like Gotham's gonna get obliterated. You know, like when anytime
Yeah, just look at
Superman,
Batman Eternal.
yeah, when every time someone actually a character shows up, he gets pissed. He's like, no, this is my city. Have it to
Mm-hmm.
where no jail members show up in Batman stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and this is even after Reeves is gone. But have Batman show up in other people's stuff. Like I want
Yeah,
Batman showing up in a Superman film. I don't want Superman showing up in a Batman film. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And you just had, I'm like, you just had the end of the Batman film. He learned like I got to be a symbol of hope.
Mm-hmm.
That's Superman's philosophy. I'm like, you know, what would have been amazing if that like he realizes he's on the roof helping people with the National Guard, and Superman just flies in. He's like, that would have been perfect. I'm like, but he's talking about hope. That's literally like set up for Dick Grayson. Like, I'm gonna get a boy wonder. I need to
Mm-hmm.
change my tactics. And so I'm like, and there's no connections. It can easily fit in the new continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I people like Hunter, get off your dream horse. I like to think that like this is what they're doing. They're just fucking lying to everybody, you
Yeah.
know? And it's just that's what I want. Now, if we don't get that, fine. But it's kind of like I want to see Dick Grayson. Like I want to. There's no Batman story I want to see more other than Under the Red Hood.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that should have been the Batfleck film of the previous continuity. That would have been incredible, but we'll
Yeah.
never see that happen. Um,
Never.
Other than that story, the story I want to see the most is like Batman adopting Dick Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you just did that Long Halloween. At the end of that saga, Dark Victory is when Batman gets Dick Grayson, and
Because
so
I
yeah,
what I love about Dick and Bruce's dynamic is how Dick kind of teaches Bruce how to be Bruce again. Like
yeah,
he's learning to be a human being again.
yeah. And that was the philosophy of the Batman film. Is like, I got to learn, like, if I just get developed by vengeance, I have all these negative,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not making a difference at the end of the day. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. That's personally, I want it. If they don't do him, my fan casting for Batman is uh fucking Reacher, the guy who plays Alan Richardson, because
Yeah.
he's fucking huge. And I'm like, it'd be awesome to get the Batman who fucking lifts. Like, that'd be awesome.
The
You
Batman
know?
that rivals Bane.
Yeah, for real. Like that's all the jokes with I fucking got right here, absolute Batman. Um, like he's like, I fuck the memes like I the Joker's like, what happens? Like, did you fucking eat Bane or something? Like, I hit the gym, you know.
The true.
But yeah, man, that's what I want. But anyway, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show. I think we
Thank
went
you
in
for
there.
inviting me.
Oh, dude, of course, yeah, we went on a long time. So, yeah, dude, thanks for being on the show. Loved having you on, man. And who knows what we'll go through, but all I just know is I'm fucking excited with what Gunn's doing, and so that's why he did announce that Peacemaker season
Mm-hmm.
2 is going to be like Superman's the start of it, but it's its own story.
Yeah.
He said Peacemaker season 2 and season 1 of Green Lanterns
Mm-hmm.
are going to be the two projects that show where chapter 1 is heading. And so I think those are going to be the things that set up stuff. You know what I mean? That's why I'm
Yeah.
excited. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I know you're excited. But yeah, thanks again for having on the show, bro. How can fellow strugglers find you? How can people find you?
Hold on, I gotta bring it up. It's that
Oh,
it's been a
yeah.
while. I've been I'm trying to upload more. I just haven't had like the time or really
No,
ideas.
it's all good,
But
man.
if you want to watch really bad video game YouTube videos from when I was like 16 years old, look up at YouTube MrPIXELS 303521.
Hell yeah. All right. And don't worry, strugglers. MrPIXELS is going to be back. We're working on a bunch of ideas. So this is just an episode of Breakdown Beatdown, but we have definitely a lot more things coming. So thanks for being on the show, man. And yeah, take care, bro. All right, strugglers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, keep reading, get the pop. We'll see you later.